Talk about the latest news. A New Jersey teenager in a world of trouble this morning.
Apparently, he broke into the World Trade Center complex in the middle of the night and went all the way up to the top. A 16-year-old kid. We have his picture. He's in big trouble, and so are some security officials potentially at the World Trade Center. For more on this story, we go to Juliet Huddy. She's right outside the big building with more. Hi, Juliet.
Good morning, Greg and Rosanna. Yeah, we're actually right on the corner of West Street and Vesey Street, right outside the Verizon building. Take a look behind me. This is essentially the outer perimeter of the World Trade, the base of One World Trade. And you know, like a lot of folks who've watched it grow into the tallest building in the United States, Justin Casquejo is fascinated, according to authorities, by One World Trade. So fascinated that he put his life at risk and broke the law while he was at it. Port Authority police say at around 4 a.m. on Sunday, the Weehawken teenager crawled through a small hole in a fence, a perimeter fence. It was about 1 square foot, and possibly dressed like a construction worker, he headed straight for the famous spire. The 16-year-old had no official ID. Despite that, an elevator operator took him all the way up to the 88th floor because that's as far as the elevator will go. He then got out, took the stairs the rest of the way, sneaking past a security guard who was asleep. And then he documented the entire thing, all of his exploits, about 2 hours worth of exploits, with a series of shocking pictures on his Facebook page. Now, this area is protected by the New York Police Department. There's also a private security company that protects it, as well as the Port Authority. And here is their statement. This is from Joseph Dunn, who is the chief of security. He says, "We take security in these types of infractions very seriously, and we will prosecute violators. We continue to reassess our security posture at the site and are constantly working to make the site as secure as possible." Now, as for this 16-year-old, he was arrested, of course, as he was heading down. A construction worker apparently saw him. He was charged with criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. And a lot of folks today are probably wondering about that security guard that let him go by that was actually sleeping. Apparently, that security guard has been fired. And we have more on this story as the day continues, and I'm sure we'll hear a little bit more about this as the week continues. But live outside of One World Trade, I'm Juliet Huddy. Back to you.
All right.
Not the first time this has happened. Remember Philippe Petit?
Oh, yes.
He broke in. He was a guy who actually walked the tightrope between the old World Trade Center.
I remember, but that was before, you know, terrorism was a word that we all talked about, you know, in our everyday conversation.
But he did famously kind of break in, and did you know he stayed the night? He actually kind of slept over.
He did?
And it was a multi-day operation. They had to bring all that stuff up there. Interesting documentary. Philippe Petit, actually...
He's been on Good Day New York.
Yeah, I think he lives upstate now. Anyway, but this young man is in serious trouble.